What's up, guys and girls? A very warm welcome to the channel. The sun is shining and the magpie is casting. Coming at you guys today with a live 1 versus 1 battle, featuring, spawning in the north, it's going to be the Soviet forces of Desert Fox Rommel. Welcome back to the channel, Desert Fox Rommel, been a while. And spawning in the south, it's going to be the Overcommand West forces of Spander. And likewise, welcome back to the channel, Spander. Both of these players, of course, returning, have been cast previously. The map today is going to be, is this one? This one? Is this Angerville? This is not Angerville, is it? Hi, nope, can't remember the name of the map. Very sorry. This is, oh, is it Arnhem Checkpoint? I think it's Arnhem Checkpoint or something like that. Yeah. So this is one of the maps that was added with the British forces. For some reason, I just never get match made onto this map, like, ever, so I don't really feel like I know it very well. As you can tell by the fact that I don't really remember its name. It's not a symmetrical map. Let me just pan around a little bit. Got some vineyards here on the right. They're like soft cover. They also block line of sight, but can be driven through by like any vehicle. Got a good spread of buildings, even on the right flank. Middle of the map is predominantly this sort of built-up sort of small town, I suppose. And then the left-hand side of the map is considerably built up, fewer vineyards, more of a kind of orchard feel to it, I guess. So a mixed bag of terrain on this map. Looks like we've got our first scuffle just here in the middle of the map here. So we've got some Volks Grenadiers in heavy cover against some conscripts in a building. We've got some engineers making a land grab over here. Let me just check the teching for the Soviet player. So he has gone straight for the support weapon Campaner. Going for the well-balanced opening that building provides. You get access to the Zis gun, the MG, the mortar, and that kind of thing. Much less aggressive, of course, than the Tier 1 opening, which gives you scout cars and penals and snipers and stuff like that. But this is probably, I would say, it's 65-35 that I see Russian players opening with this building first, over the other one, where they make a building opening. Of course, when you play as Soviets, you don't have to make a building opening. You can run with conscripts for just for quite a long time. At least like the first 4 or 5 minutes of the game, at least. So anyway, a good concave of fire developing here for Desert Fox Rommel. With the conscripts in this building, combined with the conscripts behind the fountain and the engineers here, these Volks Grenadiers, which are now down to 1 man, I do hope Spander is paying attention here. Let me just check the health of this squad. Yeah, he's going to get it out of there. I was going to say, there's basically nothing else to be paying attention to, so if he lost that squad, it would be kind of mad. Is he going to get the Volks in first? The Volks do get into the building first, but the situation here regarding this concave of fire still remains, so they're not going to last too long in this building. A lot of fire coming in at them. Let me just rotate the camera here and we can see how many windows. So we've got 2 Volks Grenadiers firing from this side? No, none firing from this side, and only 3 firing from this side. No, 4, there's one up in the bell tower there. So, not the best building, because it seems like none of them can fire from this side, which is weird, I didn't know that. So, anyway, interesting fact there. That is the sound of a Maxim, and there it is, opening up. Meanwhile, out on the map, we've got some Storm Pioneers capping points, and they would make a big difference to this fight. In fact, yeah, I was going to say, he's probably going to skip capturing this point to get the jump on this Maxim. Seems like a really good fight to take there. The Soviets being very aggressive, pushing up very far. Garrisoning this building right on the doorstep of the Overcommand base is a really good call. Seems like Spander has chosen his commander. He's gone for the Fortifications Doctrine, hence the MG34 out on the field here. Going to deploy in range of this building, start opening up on them. Storm Pioneers, now what happened to those? Oh, they came back to capture this point? That seems unusual. They really need to be helping everyone fight. Oh dear, they're getting shot up by conscripts moving across negative cover. These guys are now down to 3 men, getting shot up even more, down to 2 men. This is terribly unlucky for Spander. Who just wasn't looking at those Storm Pioneers as they ran across the open there, and that's going to cost him. Maxim in the middle has come forward. Up to 3 squads of conscripts, 1 Maxim. The Overcommand forces consisting at the moment, they've gone 2 Volks, 2 MG34. So the MG34s are going to really help try and control these infantry. Where's this one? This one here, not doing much at the moment. He'd love to get that into this building, actually. And there is a window right now where he can do that. Let's see if he picks it up and puts it into this building. I would even just love him to put it behind this car or something, because right now it's kind of doing nothing. Here comes an incendiary grenade onto the Maxim, falling back already in advance. So that's going to get out. No men lost, but some HP damage done to the squad. Now this MG34 is doing something again. MG34 in this building, not firing right now, there we go, just rotating the gun. Bringing it to bear. On the left flank, we've got some engineers. They're going to be grabbing this victory point. The scorelines right now, it seems Axis leading 500 over 478 for Desert Fox Rommel. But when he captures that point on the left, which, there we go, just got captured on the minimap, he's going to start catching up now. It's the Axis forces which are under the clock. Interesting fight going. This MG34 I think is in a pretty suboptimal position. I'd love to see it, like, it would be just as good in this building, it would be much better behind this car, and it would be really good in this building. Loving the incendiary grenade, that's going to clear this, these conscripts out. That is assuming, there we go, yep. Spander, sorry, Desert Fox Rommel, paying attention there. MG34 going to be forced out of this building just by a flamethrower and conscripts there, so quite a lot of damage coming in. Seems like we've got a flak HQ. Wow, I didn't even have a look at the checking. I just assume that all Overcommand players go battle group at HQ first. Thank goodness. Spander, like a hero, he's going to be mixing it up, going for the Mechanized Regiment HQ, and this is something that I don't see nearly often enough as the first truck. It's really cool. And here comes a flak flak track. And if you look at the Soviet force. What do you... I can't remember there's a word. You see, I've been studying Japanese recently, and what Japanese does is it massacres all of your English, and you forget all of your English words. Composition is the word. So if we look at the Soviet composition, we can see that there's no anti-tank right now, so this flak track has reign of the field for a time. Desert Fox Rommel going to have to save up for a Zis gun, which I believe costs, what, 270 or 300, something like that? 320, okay, yeah. Sounds about right, they're pretty damn good. Black Trap getting set up in a great position. Going to do a number on these engineers who really need to fall back. They're taking a lot of damage. The range on this Flak Track is pretty damn good, so I wouldn't be surprised if it can reach the Maxim up there. And indeed it can. That Maxim's going to have to do a runner as well, and it will. So the Flak Track doing really well. Getting 4 kills, hardly any veterancy though. Soviet infantry is just barely worth shooting at in terms of veterancy. It's amazing. The difference when you're playing against British forces is amazing. You get so much more veterancy for shooting at their units. Anyway, Storm Pioneers, they're reinforced rearm, they're coming back out. Looks like they might try and capture this middle point here. I'd love to see Spander grab another squad of Volks. I think 2's running it a little thin on this map. But anyway, here comes the Schwerer Machschlepper. He's going to try, I imagine, to make that into the Schwerer Panzer HQ. Somewhere around here would be a fantastic position. In fact, you know what, even here, which he can do right now, would be really, really good. So, anyway, the fact that it's moving forwards tells me it's probably going to be the Schwerer Panzer HQ. Although, having said that, he probably would want the battle group at HQ to be forwards as well. So, it's probably not a safe read to make. Let's look at how much fuel he's got. That's probably the better indicator. And he's only down on 50. So, if this is looking to deploy anytime soon, yep, it's going to be the battle group at HQ. Loving the play from Spander, getting the 2 cheap trucks before thinking about the Schwerer Panzer HQ. And this adds a lot of versatility. We're only at 7 minutes 40 in the game, and in about, a minute or two's time, he's going to have access to a really good range of Overcommand units. The potent anti-tank for the Jagdpanzer, which on this map is a fantastic unit, and a number of other units from the Mechanized Regiment HQ. Anyway, we've got a fight breaking out here right now. MG34 and Flak Track here, providing a good base of fire for the Overcommand forces. They're going to force back most of the Soviet resistance pretty much as soon as it enters this middle courtyard, so not much of a fight there in the end. Here's an M5 half-track. I haven't been following the teching for the Soviets, but that indicates, of course, that the Tank of the Battalion command is down. Now, this is just going to take a load of damage. I'm not quite sure I like the aggressive positioning. He's upgraded it into the with the Quad 50 anti-air mount, so it's not going to be able to reinforce troops. I'm not sure I like that either. I think reinforcing troops is pretty valuable, and I'm not really sure how much value right now the Quad 50 is going to be able to offer, simply because there's this Flak Track out here, and that's going to be doing real. That's going to be doing real work. Incendiary ammo being used from the MG34 to hose down this this Maxim squad. They're getting absolutely hosed. Oh, Desert Fox Rommel needs to get them out. It's a little late now, though. Oh, it's way too late. Yeah. I mean, they kind of got glitched out on the door there, which is a shame. Flak Track making light work of that snack. Wow, there we go. I'm like some kind of rapper. The Flak Track making light work of that snack. Oh my god. So anyway, wow, this is a bit of a dive. This is an overextension, massive overextension. Although, wow, look how much damage it did. Okay, so I can see why he threw it in. He was trying to kill the Flak Track. It did a lot of damage to that unit, even temporarily breaking the engine. That is big stuff. Using the smoke there with Spander, that's going to let it survive. Although, if these guys have AT grenades, which they do, this is going to be a dead flak half-track. So a valiant attempt there from the Soviet forces, bringing down the flak half-track. And with that, if they can repair this their own flak half-track, which they are, the balance of power is shifting. Now in comes the Quad 50 mount. That's going to start hooning damage down onto these MG teams. They're so vulnerable. Look at the amount of damage they take. flamethrower as well, roasting them. This squad needs to fall back, but it's way too late for them. They're going to get picked off by the fire and the flak 50. The quad 50. Meanwhile, on the right-hand side of the map, Volks Grenadiers, 2-star squad up against it against some conscripts. But he's going to somehow see them off. This plucky Volks Grenadier sends the conscripts packing. Good man. But I can't help feel that Spander probably needs to fall him back as soon as possible, as soon as he's done with that fuel point. Another MG34 going down, and if we look at the top right, the forces of Spander have been smashed. He's down to 3 squads, 2 Volks and a Storm Pioneer. He does have a Shrek on this Volk squad, so it's not over yet. He does have an answer for the flak half-track, but I don't know, man. I don't know, it's pretty tight. How much manpower is he floating? 430. This is a dire situation to be in, to be sure. He has even researched the forward fallback point as well on this point, so if he can just build a couple of units, Spander will be right in this, but he's weak right now. The Soviet forces, if they swung in, would do a massive amount of damage, and we've got shock troopers entering the field, which means Desert Fox Rommel has chosen the much feared shock rifle frontline tactics. This is a great command. It gives you shock troops, the ambush tactics for your Zis guns, incendiary artillery barrage, which is great, the KV-8, which is really usable, and the IS-2, which is your kind of late game insurance policy, which, to be honest, Soviets need more than most other teams, a late game insurance policy, I mean. So anyway, these Volks pretty wounded right now. The quad 50 could come in and hoon them pretty badly. Possibly an attempt at a Molotov here, but it's not forthcoming. There's more than enough munitions for Desert Fox, so he could use that if he wanted to. Here come the shocks, though. We might see a grenade from them instead. The Volks are getting really low. I'd fall them back, and he does. These guys are in negative cover. Fall them back. The thing about shocks is they do so much damage even to retreating units. He could lose these Storm Pioneers. They're getting glitched terribly. He is going to lose them. That is an expensive loss. And things just falling apart here for Spander. You've got a feel for him. It was all going so well, and then Desert Fox Rommel just came in with the sledgehammer, destroyed the flak half-track with a really nice dive from his own flak half-track, followed it up with an anti-tank grenade. Now we've got shock troops all over the battle group at HQ. Volks Grenadiers, who don't do very much to them, are trying to face off. Here comes the quad 50. That's going to mow down this Schwer of a Max Schlepper. Pretty much. I mean, I don't suppose Spander minds too much about that right now. But anyway, yeah, incendiary grenade coming down. Lots of pinned troops. Here's a funny thing, though. Actually, when you're close to your battle group at HQ and you have the forward fallback point researched, which Spander does right now, you can totally abuse the pinning mechanics by just pressing fallback and it just instantly unpins you. And because you're standing right next to the building, you can just keep fighting. So he could abuse that around here. If you take a fight against squads of Volks Grenadiers that are standing next to their battle group at HQ, you've got to look out because they reinforce just about as fast as you can kill them unless you're bringing in some real firepower. And you can also abuse the pinning and things like that. So this is a strong place to fight for Spander. Seems like he's got forces making a land grab on the right flank, squad of conscripts, squad of grenadiers. They're going to be chewing up the turf there. Let me just crack the tack, seeing as how we've got some downtime, pardon me, from the combat right now. So, fanning back out, 3 units of Volks, the entire frontline presence right now for Spander. You can see them fanning out and trying to take points right now. Actually didn't capture this point here, which is a little bit awkward. He probably wanted to do that. Here come the replacement Storm Pioneers, so they're coming in now. 2 Maxims, shocks, 2 conscripts, pardon me, 2 conscripts and a flak track, the opposition there. Got a scuffle developing here on the right flank around the fuel point. Flamethrower engineers doing some good work, but they're going to be forced back, and there they go. That leaves these 2 squads of Volks to take these conscripts. Now, these guys are standing in negative cover right now, which is problematic. The other Volks squad going to try and take this fight, but they're in no cover here. Wow, didn't expect the fallback. He could have stayed and traded for a little more damage, I think, especially if he'd have gotten into cover. At least baited out a Molotov or something like that to at least cost his opponent some munitions. I think that was possibly an early fallback, but playing it safe rather than sorry. He wants to garrison this building, I guess, because this building is horrible news. If Desert Fox Rommel gets one of his Maxims into this building, like, things get real bad real fast for the Axis player. Oh my goodness, and here comes the Soviet sledgehammer. 2 Maxims, lots of engineers. We've got the flak track coming in. This is going to be really hard. He needs to get these Volks out and reinforcing, like, now. Yeah, there we go. He can't hold on to this building. It's a distant dream. The best he can hope for is to put some Volks, like, here and get an incendiary grenade in, so maybe he's going to move around and try for that. Or even here, you might be able to lob the incendiary grenade in and just deny this building for as long as you can. He only has enough munitions for 1 incendiary, though. Maxim. Oh, it's not a Maxim. It's an MG34. My mistake. So there's a Maxim and an MG34 out for the Soviets. And this is a desperate defense. Now, there's no better place to hold if you are an overcommand player. You love taking fights right next to your battle group at HQ because you're constantly reinforcing and you can abuse the fallback mechanic. Another way you can abuse that mechanic is anytime you press fallback, all units who are shooting at the squad that you fall back immediately stop shooting it and acquire new targets, meaning that your opponent has to focus fire on the falling back squad again, because they all just turn and start shooting other things. So you can really abuse this, just tapping fallback on your units, just to flip them into fallback and then back out. Anyway, here come the shock troops. They're going to sledge in. He's Volk's very weak. He needs to abuse the fallback, and he does. There we go. And or even just use the fallback. Grenade coming out. These shocks are just doing work. Wouldn't be surprised to see them better very quickly. The Storm Pioneers need to get a bit closer, or even just behind this cover. MG34 in a fantastic position here, and I suppose, yeah, that's going to force the untoggling of the fallback point on this building. That's going to force all the Axis infantry back to here, and Desert Fox Rommel really pushing for the advantage right now. He can taste blood in the water, and this is the formation of a player who knows when the advantage is his, and he is pushing right now. The killer instinct is there. He's not just happy to sit back on the points with machine guns in these buildings and infantry in advantageous positions. He's pushing for the kill right now. He doesn't really care what it takes. And you know what? I think if he really wanted to get the kill, wow, we've got a Werferman on the build, by the way. I think if he really wanted to get the kill, he could spend some of his massive amount of fuel on another half track, so he could reinforce his units right here. That would be like the KO blow, I think. But he's buying a Zis gun. There is a Werferman coming out, which is like just nuts, and munitions bonus income right now being used on the conversion truck at the Mechanized Regiment HQ. So anyway, 3 squads of Volks fanning out to the left, going to try and take a fight here against some engineers and some conscripts. They're doing kind of okay. The Maxim is just, okay, it's just hitting that building, that's why I can hear it firing. Storm Pioneer is going to try and take a fight in the heavy cover here against these conscripts, but I don't think they're going to trade superbly. Volks Grenadiers doing okay on this flank, but the MG34 gets set up, and that's going to force them back. I actually think I disagree with this unit, because it's not going to contribute enough to the battle. It can only fire every so often, and then it's just a dead unit. And to be honest, I think if Desert Fox Rommel wants to, he could just take a dive with like anything and kill it. So I don't like this as the choice. I think this would have been better as 2 light guns, because 2 light guns suppresses infantry, lets him make some plays. I mean, wow, he actually killed 5 men, which is a damn good opening salvo there. That is lucky. Yeah, I still think that getting 2 light guns would suit him better, and he can still afford 1 more light gun if he wanted to. Oh, goodness me, this Storm Pioneer playing risky times. Okay, yeah, he's going to get a second man added to the squad, so they're okay now. Oh dear, the medics are getting shot, though. And yeah, so I think 2 light guns would have been really sweet, because you can hide 2 light guns like back here in the heavy cover of the sandbags on your main base, and they can just be hooning these guys. Like, imagine if 2 lights were hitting this. The Soviet player could not stay and take this fight. So, you know, typically in my usual genius way, I've figured it out. That's what he needs. 2 light guns every day, all day. And but anyway, it seems like he's breaking out, running through his own incendiary grenade. A little bit hazardous, but whatever. You got to do what you need to do to get the job done. Pushing for this Zis gun, the conscripts routing right now. Here come the shock troops though, and you've got to imagine that they're going to be able to parry this assault. And the flamethrowers. Oh, this is an overextension now. You want to take this fight from cover, not in the open. This is now dangerous times. The Zis gun gets set up, and that is reasonably effective against infantry. Storm Pioneers getting really far back. Where are they going? Kind of abandoning the fight. Oh, this could be a squad wipe. This could be a squad wipe. Shocks do so much damage, even to retreating units. Their rate of fire is pretty fantastic, and at close range, those SMGs do way too much damage. Oh, that's a squad wipe. Yeah. Those Storm Pioneers needed to be out of there, like, just earlier, basically. So he could still buy the light guns. And how many tickets does he have left to give? 243. It's a long shot now, but he could, if he got light guns, I think he could actually get back in this. He's going for more MG34s, though, and I don't hate this, actually. This is a good idea. He needs some way of controlling these blocks. The MG34, the light, they both do that. Zis gun, though, now besieging the battle group at HQ. And this is pretty much like a showcase, almost a masterclass. Is he reinforcing this squad? He is. A showcase, a masterclass of how to put pressure onto Overcommand. And you mean, you know, this is it. You bring up a Zis, you pressure the trucks, you keep a perimeter around their base, you exploit. As soon as they fall back, you have to punish them. Overcommand are one of those factions. Their units are so strong that when you have a chance, you have to stay on top of it. This 4-star squad of Volks is gonna die, and things looking pretty bad right now for Spander. Here comes the barrage here from the Werferman, but it only kills 2 men. I mean, that brings it up to 7 kills. And it's just not enough. This is what I mean. It's only firing once every, like, 100 seconds, which is just not enough. It's just not enough. A light gun will be contributing all the time. So, anyway, let's see now. Out on the right flank, we've got some action. A fuel point trying to be taken here, and it looks like finally Desert Fox Rommel going to take care of that final victory point. I'm just going to pour myself a cup of tea here. And so now can begin the main Soviet assault on the Overcommand base, assuming, of course, that Spander doesn't GG. And to be honest, any time in like the last 5 or 10 minutes would have been an absolutely okay time to GG. I mean, he is so far behind. His odds of winning this must be down in like the low, like sub 5%, probably sub 2% right now, I would say. I mean, he is looking at long odds to try and get anything done in this game. Jasmine tea, loving it. So, let's see. So he's got a squad of Volks Grenadiers and a Werferman. Okay, I was about to say that's not looking so good. It turns out Spander agrees with me. He's going to GG on that one. I think Spander got off to a fantastic start, and clearly the turning point of the battle was when he lost his flak track here. Now it wasn't. I don't think it was in such a bad position. But the Soviet flak track came in from here, hit it up, got it onto low health, broke the engine. He used smoke to try and get it out, reversed it this way, and then the Ura AT grenade took it out. And when that occurred, suddenly all of the Axis positions were no longer covered by the flak track, and the Soviet forces were able to move in and clear it out. So I pretty much think it just came down to the flak track, which is really harsh. Normally you can lose a flak track or two and still come back, but yeah, so I think Spander there was unfortunate to lose to the loss of a single flak track. Desert Fox Rommel, like I said, showing a masterclass of how to punish Overcommand when they go behind, and really finish that one off nicely. I would say though, Spander would have stood a better chance, I think, if he'd have not invested in this Stukas of Fuss. I think if he'd instead gone for a brace, that's 2 light guns, and spent his fuel on like possibly, I mean this is controversial, possibly a Puma. And the reason I say a Puma is because if you go for a flak track, which is a really sweet unit in this base defense scenario, the Zis gun's just going to kill it. Whereas with a Puma, that gives you something to get out and harass with, and it also stops your opponent taking a dive with a half track or a T-70 to just kill your base and your units. So possibly a Puma. It's not like the best of advice. So I just think light guns and more Volks would have been the way forward there. But even then, he was so far behind, like I say, it would have been long odds. So anyway, yep, that concludes this broadcast. Thank you all very much for watching. This is Magpie842 signing out.